Welcome to Nerds at Lunch. We're going to do a trailer review for Zero. Oh man, I lost the title.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Zero
Zero
time
Time Dilemma, right?
zero time dilemma. Yeah.
Okay,
It
just want to make sure I have it
went up not too long ago, so that's gonna date our video. Will be the first reaction video, I hope.
right. Yeah, I'll try to put this up as fast as I can, depending on how long it is. So,
So,
apologies for any rough edits.
well,
So,
the thing.
sorry,
Yeah,
Mark.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I'm not familiar with the series, obviously, uh, but Mark has played previous games in it, I assume.
Yep.
So give me a little rundown of what it's about.
Okay, so back on the DS, there was a game from Spike Chunsoft and Akis Games localization that was called 9 Hours, 9 Doors, 9 Persons.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yep, that is the first game in what's called the Zero Escape series. Mostly these games are visual novels. Not gonna lie,
Okay.
but there are puzzle solving aspects in them too. In the first game, you wake up in this room and you find that you're on a boat, and like there's levels to the boat, and you need to find the key. It's like escape the room. You need to look around the room, like point and click at stuff, and solve like little puzzles to find a key to get yourself out of the room because this boat is going to start sinking over the course of time. You eventually come to meet other people that are locked, like held prisoner on this boat as well, and each of you has a wristband on you. In the first game, if you fail to comply by your host, whose name is Zero, his game, he will blow you up.
Huh.
What you have to do is you'll find these doors in the first game, hence where the 9 doors come from, and I forget exactly what it was, how it worked, but you had to pair off with people, but you had to do it concerning there were numbers on your bracelets as well. So you couldn't just be like, okay, us three are going to go through there, us three are going to go through there at random. No, you actually had to pick certain people. So that certain number values made it so you could go through a certain door. And as you know, like, well, when you've got this like a weird cast of characters with each other, you're going to get one that's really like a psychopath.
Yeah.
And like one guy's like blind, and his lowly sister, and people saying who they are, who they're not really, and you just get this. It's kind of like Saw in that he wants you to play his game Zero, and you just have to go through. But there's just this feeling that something bigger, a bigger picture is going on at the time, and there's so many twists, like why Zero wants you to play this game. And I can't really say why because, if people like, yourself, Jason, others that are listening to this, I can't give away the big reason why he wants you to play this game because it's pretty overarching to the entire series.
Oh, okay. So each game is interconnected. I recall there's at least three.
Yes, this is the third, and I think it's supposed to be the last one.
Okay.
What was interesting with 999 is, if you want to think about it like choose your own adventure style, because in one playthrough you could go through that door and run through all the options that happened. Like certain people will die if you go through certain doors, and not gonna lie, most of the endings in the first game you die until you have to keep playing to get the good path.
Oh.
But what makes the true ending the good ending, where you do live, is I won't go into exact reasons why, but your character has like a deja vu sense, like he knows that he's almost gone down this almost a similar path
Oh.
or the wrong one. He has trace memories,
Oh, that's neat.
so he knows how to talk to certain characters after a while, what their real stories start becoming.
So he sort of knows he's a character playing the completed save file, but not in a fourth wall breaking kind of way.
Right.
Okay.
So the music in the games, all three games, like, well, that trailer alone, we didn't have much to go on, but it was still pretty good. The first game has great music because you need good music when you're reading a lot of text. There is no voice chat at all in the voice acting at all in the first game.
Oh, well, yeah, it's DS.
Yeah, and this game, your first playthrough gonna take you at least a few hours. You end up, I think, picking maybe 3 doors in the first. Like, you end up, I think, picking 3 or 4 doors each time because they want you to keep pairing off with different people. But pairing off with different people, paired up with them after different events have happened.
Yeah.
So maybe this person had a psychotic breakdown by this point, and now you're talking to them after it, or if you played it in another playthrough, you talked to them before it, and maybe they never had one at all. So, but eventually, though, most of the playthroughs, as I said, people will die, you die, and yeah, it's basically you think the goal of the game is to escape everything, but there's just so much more going on in this game. It's a really well done story. Hence why we've got 3 games going here. The second game in the series is Virtue's Last Reward. That is for the 3DS. I think with this game, if you want to pick it up, I think it's advised you get the digital version because there's a couple glitches in the game, like where you get locked out and not being able to do a certain puzzle in a certain room, and you need to do it. So the physical version has that, but the digital, I think, patched that. But the second game features pretty much the same idea. You are held captive. I can't say where you are because that's a big spoiler too.
In a room, I bet.
Well, you're in a facility.
Okay.
I'm not going to say where the facility is, but you have wristbands on again. But this time, instead of blowing you up, the idea is if you do not play Zero's game, or if a new mechanic that gets introduced is you have colors this time, but you also get a number set as well. If your number reaches 0, your bracelet will automatically inject you with a poison that will kill you.
Huh.
And each player in this game, the participants in this game, there's 2, I can't really say how many, because there's at least 2 characters in this game that are recurring from the first game. The one girl, Clover, she was a little girl in the first game, but Zero takes her again for this game. Turns out she was just voted in by fans to come back. So there's no real big story reason why she came back. So she was just popular vote because they wanted that. So again, you have to go through this facility solving puzzles, and at the how it worked was you had a team of 2, and then you picked up one other person. They would shuffle up the colors. So it's all the blue people will go with each other, but these are the primary groups.
Yeah.
So there is a door in the main building that if you hit, I believe if your bracelet reads 10, it will open, and you can actually escape. However, the door will only open once, and you can't force it open by any other means because Zero will just kill you. Yeah. When you have completed the puzzles, everybody is completed, you will actually then proceed to a voting chamber, and you and your partner will be in one part of the room, and then on completely isolated other part of the room is a voting machine where you can either decide to I forget what it is, where the good word, I think it's help or betray. And if both teams vote help, supporting each other, they'll each get 1, I think, number added to their total on their wristband. So they get 1 number closer to actually being able to escape.
Yeah.
Because even if somebody opens the door, you do not have a 10 on your bracelet, he will kill you. Your bracelet has to read 10, so nobody can just cheese it and just open it for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how the math worked, if you picked to betray somebody and they picked to help you, you'll get 2 points to go up, and they will go down a point. The other team, the other member. So the people in this game, they have their own motivations for wanting to, get out.
Yeah.
Some people, they just don't give a crap about the other people here. They're all out for number one.
Yeah.
So it comes a battle of, why should I help this person? I don't really know them. I should be all about number one. And, if we all in theory agree to vote to help each other, who's going to be that one guy that's going to actually hit betray, and he'll be the one that gets to leave first, and he's going to leave the rest of us to be trapped here. Because as said, the door opens just. So who knows what kind of people Zero picked out for this one. So not everybody's willing to play nice, as it were.
Yeah.
And every round, the colors, get shuffled around. The team and the partners do too. So you can't just go through and hope that, it's like, okay, here's our strategy throughout the entire game. So no, you can't just do that. This game sported, as opposed to the first game, the first game only went with flat, animated models.
Yeah. This one is 3D, I assume?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, they got 3D models for game. They got this. You'll have time to do not read dialogue. Even you as the main character, you have a voice.
Oh, that's good. That's rare in a visual novel.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more puzzles. When I say puzzles, some of them are they're like demonic kinds of latany ones of sorts. Of sorts. The worst puzzle, I think, in the entire series has to be this dice one, where you need it to, the dice will only, change on its side. I think if you tilt it, it'll tilt 2 directions, so it just isn't a 1-to-1, and you need the dice to show a certain way, and a certain amount of moves.
Oh, I hate ones like that.
Yeah. There's ones where you had to figure out, what do these things weigh, putting things in certain spots, flicking right switches, putting things back together again, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some harder ones out there. There's a chemical mixing one, because when you're in this facility, you can find yourself maybe in an astronomy setting, or you can find yourself in a morgue. That's just how Zero has organized this place. You can walk into anything, botanical garden maybe, or a kitchen, stuff like that. He's just got it all lined up. So this game packs a lot more ends. I think it's 32.
Oh, wow.
Now, what makes this game, that's a point I forgot about the first one, is once you've cleared the game, you can there's a fast forward button.
Oh, that's neat.
So there's no skip to picking door option. You just have to hit fast forward, and there is skip, I think, but not skip to door. It's skip to scenes. So that way your second playthrough goes a lot faster until you get to new puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
But with this playthrough, second game rather, they actually will show you there are branches. I wouldn't say branches of fate because I've played Fire Emblem too much, but timeline branches, as it were. So you get to see okay, this is where the point led up to, but we hit betray. But what happens if we hit trust? Oh, I think it's trust. I think it's trust. So you can complete your route, and then you can go back to that point, and then change it to go down the next path. So you don't have to rewind all the way back to the beginning. You can just rewind as far back as you need to. And just like the first game, your character will actually start feeling that feeling again, where, deja vu of path that they've walked down. But in this game, you're not the only one.
Oh.
So.
That's a cool twist.
Yep. And this game, it's a big vehicle for the third game, because the third game is, as you saw in the trailer, there's a lot of escalation in that one.
Yeah.
You need. That's what sucks about being spoiler free in these. what you've learned all the way up to this game is what makes the third game so impactful. Because there is, as you heard Zero say in the trailer, the guy that was all dressed up and like the bubonic plague mask and stuff. There is something out there that actually will cause a lot of death, like to the world. So when he's saying that the fates of me, you, and mankind are at stake, he is not kidding.
Huh.
So he needs you and these participants to play this game to deal with that. So I can't say what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, or who you are. So but you again are the main character once more. You're not a side character in any of these. You're always main. They went for they definitely went for a different animation style for this one.
It looks very Persona-ish.
Yeah. The voice acting in the second one was actually really good. I'm not sure how to feel about this one yet because we didn't get to hear everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Zero definitely gave me a Jigsaw vibe.
Yeah. Zero has bounced around in terms of who or what he is.
Yeah.
Like in the first game, if you've ever seen the actual image of the box art, like there's two images. One shows a guy wearing like a gas mask, but no voice acting in the first game, so you don't know what he sounds like. But that's what he wants you to believe he looks like.
Yeah.
It's just this guy wearing a mask. But the second game, there's kind of like there's like two Zeros running around. That's not a big spoiler. The second one, like, I mean, there's Zero, but then he uses a rabbit, like an animated rabbit, like that shows up on monitors and stuff. He gives you like this weird Pegasus-y kind of vibe that way.
Mm.
But it's like, because Zero, you find out in the second game, is actually participating too in the game. So while he or she is playing the game, the rabbit Zero is the one, basically, that's just relaying orders that it has already received. So Zero this time, is adopting this
Plague Doctor motif.
Yeah. So
interesting.
As you've gone through the game too, there's a lot of philosophical stuff that goes on. Hence why you saw the Latin and Spanish stuff.
Yeah.
Like Memento Mori was in the second one. Because just as in the second one, there's a lot of death.
Lord Voldemort and Harry Potter cross their wands?
Ron is an evil lord.
But it sounds interesting. I think these are on PSP. This one's on PSP. It's at Vita.
Yeah, I think the second game is as well, and I think 999 is probably there too.
Yeah, Vita is like the home for visual novel games like this, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh wait, I'm trying to think in the second game if you do actually talk now. Come to think of it, because I remember having horrible Let's Plays. I think you talk a little bit in the second one, and since you should be talking in the third one.
Yeah.
Pretty darn sure.
I mean, they show people reacting, but they never show.
This is definitely the most expressive one from the series I've seen. All right, where the guy's like choking that guy with the helmet, that kid with the helmet rather.
Yeah.
They made it pretty obvious that he's the psychopath.
See, because I saw that, I'm like, well, clearly somebody put the helmet on that kid to make them think that they're the psychopath.
Well, in the second game, there's a guy in a suit of armor in there, so you don't know what his story is.
That is
like
something.
Zero just shoved him in that armor. So you gotta figure what that's about.
Yeah.
And this game, you gotta figure out why that kid is.
Is it a kid? It could be a.
It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be a midget.
Could be a robot.
Yeah.
Could be
paying one.
Could be 0. I was already digging the music that we heard too. It felt a little I think it wanted to invoke a little bit from the other two games,
Yeah.
but I think the second game's music was fantastic. The track, because you hear it so much. Because at the end of the game, you kind of go through, I don't want to say a boss rush, but it's like a lot of the true path.
Yeah.
You get a lot of like cycled, but with like twist puzzles.
Oh.
Where you get like one of the dice ones, and you get to sit there forever unless you look up a guide, which I did for that one because I don't like the dice one.
Yeah, that's the way you're describing it. I know those kind of puzzles are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think the music is called like the Showdown or something like that. It's really techy, really like the atmosphere in these games is always so. There are no real instances of happy in these games. It's always so heavy and somber because there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you get like lighthearted moments. I think with the lonely girl like Clover, you get a little bit, and as you saw the fan service character, there's one of those in each game too. But what they are is that they're not really fan service. These characters are pretty complex. And you know, if I didn't know any better, I think we were joking in one of our prior recording of Steve Bloom. I think Steve Bloom is in the second game.
He's in everything.
It was probably either him or Yuri Lowenthal. I mean, but the Persona art style definitely I'm digging in this. They put a bunch of screenshots up, and it looks like instead of timelines now, there's called like time fragments.
Oh.
So I guess they're not making you think that everything goes in a like flow chart anymore. So you can actually jump to certain points, and we see the bracelets are back, but and they got times on them, but we just don't know anything else beyond that yet. Let's see. There's some more recurring characters again, but they're there because plot reasons this time. They're not there because of being voted in. What's cool is when you pre-ordered, I think they did this for the whole trilogy. I came into 999 late.
Yeah.
I think I picked it up in 2011 during the Great Nintendo Drought. So I know I got one for Virtue's Last Reward. You could actually, it was a pre-order bonus then, but I was able to get it when you contributed to a Hurricane Katrina fund. Like Spike went, if you donate through us, like we'll give you one of these. You actually do get a wristband watch.
Oh, that's neat.
That looks like what they were in the game.
That'd be cool. I love when they do stuff like that.
There is a pre-order bonus for Zero Time Dilemma with the watch. I don't know if it's sold out because Amazon had it up. Amazon had it up like a year ago, but that's because this game, Zero Time Dilemma, has had it. This game almost didn't happen because the creator of the game, and I wish I could remember the name, found that these games are pretty niche.
Yeah.
I mean, word of mouth is how this game lived. There were no like concrete plans to make this game. Unfortunately, it looked like it was going to be one of those games that was going to end on a tragic cliffhanger. But then fans got together. There's a page called Operation Bluebird. That's because of a character, something going on with the character I can't talk about. So they just rallied a lot of word of mouth encouragement, saying, if you make this game, we're gonna buy it because we bought the other ones. And then they went and re-released 999, I think, on other platforms, and Virtue's Last Reward got a little bit more widespread too. And then I think about a little over a year ago, they're like, okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make the last game. So yeah, Zero Time Dilemma is basically it's a for the fans love game.
Well, that's good.
And it looks like they're not missing beats at all. It looks like it's gonna feel like the other two. I really can't wait to see how they're gonna wrap this all up.
Yeah.
Because the stakes are pretty damn high this time. And yeah, I got my pre-order in about a year ago. They were saying that this game was going to be most likely ready for the winter time this year, but to hear them say June 26th is amazing. So, and it doesn't look like they've cut any corners to rush it out. I mean, screenshots and such look like, yeah, I can actually see myself playing this in about 3 or so months.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I like the trailer. If I can somehow snag the old games cheap, I'll definitely give them a look.
That with these visual novel ones, these are the ones where you tell yourself you're gonna play to a certain point, but in case of 999, I must have stayed up for like hours. Like I don't want to really say play because I don't felt like I played the first one. I felt like I read more of the first one, but you definitely feel like you play more of in the second one.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind if I have to read a lot, but like with Phoenix Wright, the localization has to be good. And apologies to Phoenix Wright fans, but I couldn't stand that. So I'm gonna assume that this series is a little better about that.
I think there were a couple typos in the first one, but
I don't mind typos. I mean, like weird names or things like that. No Harry Butts or America Vespucci's or anything.
Puns and stuff?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, the only stuff you might cringe with is the rabbit puns in the second one with the zero.
Well, those are to be expected.
Yeah.
I know my tropes.
Yeah. But I don't think you have to worry so much about that.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can look up the game script if you desperately at a time. But last I checked, I think 999 you could find either version. Probably around like 15-ish, probably.
Okay. We'll try to track them down then. If we ever get that DS that streams, 3DS that streams, maybe we'll put those up.
We'll call it a Let's Read stream.
Nintendo's lowering the price of the 3DS apparently this year, so who knows?
So if you can think you'd be interested in it, rather think you'd be. If you're able to get a pre-order for like the watch version, they're really cool. I mean, they're plastic. Unfortunately, they can't go for metal because they cost too much.
Well, obviously, yeah. That would probably weigh like 15 pounds.
I like my second one. The display color was random. I think I got orange. I was hoping for blue, but you had like I think orange, red, or blue.
Oh.
You couldn't pick. They just gave you one at random.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure by now I can't get the watch pre-ordered, but I'll look into it. Because, like you said, you got yours a year ago. I'm sure those all sold out.
Amazon keeps trying to tell me it's like we need your assistance with this pre-order. It's like you want us to keep it. It's like yes, but every time I log in and check on my orders, it's like we need your assistance with this order. It's like no, you don't.
Well, what I did with Amazon, I got their store account.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a credit card only for them, but then it deducts automatically, and as far as they're concerned, you paid for it unless the game is canceled. That's the way I did it.
And with this game, there's going to be there's no DLC, there's no amiibo stuff. You get the game. You're just getting the big game.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about them being like, oh, okay, you have to buy it. Like, is a DLC course something else, or no? There's nothing you can really DLC in this game.
Yeah.
Because there's no alternate costumes for any characters. You see them as they are. I mean, with the one girl with being covered in blood, I don't know if they'll keep that throughout the entire game. Depends on.
It seems like it was after a cutscene, though.
Yeah.
Like maybe that Gatling gun one.
Yeah, that's in that suit of armor. So
yeah.
Who knows what made that trigger?
Yeah.
Like, is it just something that she shouldn't have touched, or she knew full well that was going to do that, or like, did she she claims it's an accident, or maybe she just knew all the entire time.
Yeah.
That's the thing with these characters, you know, you just have to see how they play out.
Yeah, it reminds me of, have you ever played Danganronpa?
Uh-uh.
It's similar. You play, it's a locked room mystery, but it's sort of like Phoenix Wright meets this. Um, they have to escape this building. They have to kill somebody and get away with it. But every time somebody's killed, they hold a trial. And if they accuse the wrong person, everyone else dies, and that person gets to leave. But if they convict the right person, that person is murdered in a crazy way. I think you'd like it. There's an anime if you want to get a taste for it. It basically uses the video game for the death scenes.
There is a brief intro anime to the second game. It covers like the first few minutes, like when you have to make the initial choice of betray and such. It's very fast. I would actually love to see an actual anime or movie for these. I don't know how they would do the branching paths in the second one, like assuming you'd have to go true path the first time, but you can't. You have to, for gameplay reasons, you have to walk down the bad paths in the second game.
What I would argue, and what I've seen them do with these, if it's a multi-path thing, they'll either somehow incorporate all the paths into one main one, or it seems more likely the character will just bounce back in time after they make a bad move and get another chance.
Kind of like Prince of Persia.
Sort of.
I get what you mean, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a great series. I recommend it. Since you say you work at night and stuff, it's a perfect thing you can just read.
I wish I can't leave my DS alone at my job. I wish I could. I mean, there are nights, let me tell you, I wish I had it with me, but still, yeah, I might give this a shot. I mean,
you can save. You can save pretty much whenever you want to.
Oh, that's a godsend.
It's recommended in the second game that you exit puzzles and save when you're inside a room. Don't save during, I think, any puzzles.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to screw up by accident and then be like, what the?
Yeah, there's... I forget. There's one nasty puzzle. It's like one of the weight ones in the second one where you can't save scum your way through it. You have to save before you do it. The game will what the game will actually do is if you mess up enough times, I think it triggers like a bad path all of a sudden, and the game will actually autosave.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. Where it's like, nope, you messed up, so you're actually going to live with this mistake. Like, I'll give them points for that, but it's like, people are just going to know not to, they're just going to save before they get there. But, yeah, it's a great series, and I'm glad fans, I really didn't do any campaigning for this, I just liked the campaign page. But
you are quite a game campaigner, when you...
Well, my rainfall days are behind me.
Yeah. I think Mighty Number 9 took it all out of your sales. Oh my god. We might do an episode of Mighty Number 9 someday.
If it ever comes out.
Yeah. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Hopefully this will be up tonight. If not, I'll put a link to the trailer in the description. Thanks, Mark, for explaining it to me. If you like these kind of videos, guys, let us know. I want to do more trailer discussions in general. Just because we cover a lot of content on here, and I don't think we've ever done a movie trailer review, but we might at some point.
Underoos!
I was thinking of... Okay, so that's going to be it. Thank you for listening. You can find links in the show notes for where to find us. And we will see you later.